Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bad Bookers podcast. My name is Jack, and tonight we had Monday Night Raw, like we do every Monday, surprisingly. This Monday Night Raw was made all about Money in the Bank, which is happening in 6 weeks, I think it is, 5-6 weeks. So we had a whole bunch of qualifying matches, as well as some tag team matches, and it was alright. It's a Raw. I'm just glad they didn't linger on Backlash, if I'm honest. I'm glad they just went, right, Monday Night Raw, Backlash is done, let's build storylines for Money in the Bank now, and let's get that on the go. The difference with Money in the Bank this year is we're still going to get the men and the women's Money in the Bank, but this year it's going to be 8 people. So 8 men and 8 women, which that's going to be hard to keep up with. 8. It's bad enough with 6, but 8 people. Oh dear. Anyway, starting off the show, we had Kurt Angle. He came out, he said that there's going to be 2 triple threat matches for the qualifying for the Money in the Bank. So we had a women's qualifying match between Ruby Riott, Ember Moon and Sasha Banks, and we had a men's qualifying with Roman Reigns, Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. As he was talking about this, Braun came out and he did a promo about tree houses and how he took a tree down or something like that. The crowd were cheering him. It's fine. He could literally sprout anything and the crowd will eat out of the palm of his hand. It's Braun at the end of the day, isn't it? Kevin Owens then came out and said that if anyone deserves a title shot, it should be him. You know, classic heel promo. And he's saying he shouldn't even have to qualify, he should just get put into the match. And then Kurt set up another qualifying match between Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens, which Braun won, obviously, because heels don't win on Raw. I say that. There was one later on in the night. But Kevin Owens dominated this match for the majority of the part, to be fair. He dominated it until Braun did his lap around the ring. He did that 3 times and bulldozed through Kevin Owens, rolled him in the ring, one power slam, whatever they call it, and Braun won. So Braun's in the Money in the Bank. I can't see him winning it. There's no way someone like Braun Strowman should have a Money in the Bank briefcase. If I had to put my money on anyone, it would have to be The Miz. I think The Miz is perfect for Money in the Bank. That's my early predictions for Money in the Bank briefcase holder. But Braun's in it. There was someone else added later on in the night as well. Moving on, what do we have next? So we had the Braun Kevin Owens match, which Braun won. We then had an interview with Roman Reigns where he was talking about how pissed off he was and how he had a chip on his shoulder and how his mindset was to just run through everyone. And I've written down just turn him heel, because this seemed like quite a heelish promo, and it was a decent promo. Like, Roman can do the heel promos. Just do it. There isn't enough heels on Raw. If you turn Roman heel, he will be your biggest heel. Granted, if he turns heel, people will probably cheer him. Isn't that what you want? At the end of the day, WWE, don't you want people to cheer Roman? It might just have to be a heel turn to do that. Will it happen? No, probably not. But we can all live in hope. If anything like Backlash is going to happen again, they have to turn him heel, because there were reports that Vince treasures the New York fans, as you know, the business was kind of built in and around New York, so he values their opinions and whatnot. And after what happened with people walking out before the match even started, because it was the main event, people walking out straight after, which that's normal. I don't know why people got a bit hyped for that, but usually people stick around after the show to celebrate the win. But people just left straight away. People just shat all over it, basically. WWE do not want that to happen again. So it's obvious, just turn a meal. Like I said, is it going to happen? Probably not. Would it ever happen? Probably not. Probably get another Cena. But we can all dream, can't we? We then had a match between Titus Worldwide and No Way Jose versus Baron Corbin and The Revival. And once again, it really annoys me. The Revival got a jobber entrance. Like an actual jobber entrance. And The Revival are arguably one of the best tag teams in the world. And you're booking them like this. Jobber entrances. They could be a credible Raw tag team title team. And they're getting jobber entrances. Mad. They seriously need a bit of a repackage. They probably should have moved to SmackDown. Just to have a little bit revitalised. Instead of the club, you could have moved the Revival over. But hey ho, we can't do that just now. Corbin and the Revival picked up the win. Corbin pinning No Way Jose. And that was that. It's just a bit of a filler match. We then had the triple threat for the qualifying for the women's Money in the Bank with Sasha Banks, Ruby Riott and Ember Moon. And I was almost certain that Ruby Riott was going to win to carry on this little bit of a push she's having. She didn't win. And then I was like, oh, Sasha and Bayley are probably going to be in the match, so seconds will be Sasha. Sasha didn't win. Ember Moon won. She did a double eclipse off the top rope where I'm pretty sure she didn't make contact with anyone, but she did it. They sold it. That's fine. They showed the replay once from an angle where you couldn't tell if she touched them or not, so I assume she completely missed them. That's what it looked like anyway. But Ember Moon is going to Money in the Bank, which it would have been great. I would have been quite excited if it was 6 women, but as it's 8, you need to get as much chance as possible, haven't you, to get people to have a payday. So what I'd reckon on the Raw side, we'll probably have, well, Ember Moon obviously, probably have Bayley, Sasha in there, and Natalya probably, if I had to hazard a guess. Natalya or Ruby Riott maybe. Probably more Natalya. Let's say Natalya, unless you want to put Ronda Rousey in there and have her win the Money in the Bank. Or wasn't it? That was a decent match, to be fair. They did quite well. We then had a Bobby Lashley segment where he was talking about his family and how he was brought up as a child. Like a classic face promo, I guess. It was the first time we've heard Bobby Lashley speak since coming back to WWE, except for I think he did an interview on YouTube or something. On the YouTube channel. This is the first time we've heard him on TV, I believe. I kind of wasn't concentrating, so I can't tell if it was good or not. Moving on swiftly from that, we had a Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn segment where Sami apologised for Backlash after he slapped Kevin Owens up and basically costing the team to win. And he said to Kevin Owens, "Have you got my back for tonight?" Kevin Owens said yes. And we'll move on to, that was the main event, so we'll see if Kevin Owens did have his back. After that, we had a match between Jinder Mahal and Chad Gable. This was classic 50-50 booking, starting to build Jinder Mahal up. So Jinder Mahal won, because we need heels to start bloody winning matches on Raw, because, like, a credible main event heel. We need a credible main event heel. Like, I put on Twitter, I can't remember the last time Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn won a match. It's mad. But this wasn't the last time we saw Jinder. We'll get on to that. He beat Gable. He then attacked Gable after the match. And people were looking at the entranceway. And I was kind of thinking into my head, Jason Jordan's coming back soon. If he was going to come back, they would probably have him come back with... I know they wanted to have Chad Gable as a singles competitor. But you'd come back and have Jason help Chad, and then Chad can just pie him off each week. You could do that. He didn't come out. It just ended. It was really weird to have an attack with no one coming out. But hey ho, this is Raw's booking and WWE's booking that we have had the pleasure to see over the past 2 days. We then had a little bit of a reunion, ladies and gentlemen. 2/3 of 3MB. We had Heath Slater and Rhino versus Drew Galloway or Drew McIntyre as he's now known, and Dolph Ziggler. Just a shame that Drew McIntyre kicked Heath Slater's head off his shoulders. Drew and Dolph won, obviously. They're not going to lose to Slater and Rhino. And what made this interesting is this was the first even tag team match, like proper 2v2, not the 6-man tag team match of the night. And what I noticed was Breezango and Ascension were doing promos for Money in the Bank. And it made me think, are they going to introduce a tag team Money in the Bank? Because why would you have Ascension and Breezango doing promos saying they're both going to win Money in the Bank? But they're not going to get anywhere near it, are they? Because they're Breezango and Ascension. So I think there's going to be a tag team Money in the Bank on the go here. And if anyone had to win it, you would pick Drew and Dolph, because that could add to their, we're just going to tear through teams, and they're basically going to have the roster on lock. And if they've got the briefcase, a tag team contract match, then they hold all the keys, if you will. But that's not announced. After what's happened tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in a tag team Money in the Bank. It'd be bloody a long night if they had women's, men's, both of 8 superstars in, and a tag team Money in the Bank. It'd be a hell of a long night, and I don't know how they would have 3 different ladder matches on the go. But this is WWE, they could do whatever they want, can't they? So yeah, Drew and Dolph won that. We then had Elias and Bobby Roode again. Another case of 50-50 booking. Bobby Roode won, and I assume that's the end of the feud now. I assume because they didn't have it on Backlash, this was the end of the feud. Well, they did. Bobby Roode's glorious DDT in that drug hallucination segment on Backlash. So yeah, I assume this is the end of the feud. I assume they're just going to move on now. And one of these men will probably Bobby Roode, will probably be in the Money in the Bank match. Yeah, I'd probably see Bobby Roode in there. Next up, we had Seth Rollins. He came out and issued a IC title open challenge, and it was answered by the man himself, Mojo Rawley, and Seth Rollins won, obviously. There wasn't going to be any other result, was there? Moving on swiftly, we had another tag team match between the Deleter of Worlds, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, versus Bo Dallas and Curtis Angle. And I'm pretty sure this is the first time Bo and Bray have fought each other on the main roster. Obviously, if you don't know, they're real life brothers, Bray and Bo. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know if they've fought each other in NXT, if they're in NXT at the same time. I'm pretty sure this is the first time they've faced each other on the main roster. The tag team champions won, Hardy and Wyatt, and they've got another tag team finisher, which was like a double Sister Abigail. Like they both put Curtis Axel, they both put Curtis Axel, like, you know when Bray sets up the Sister Abigail, has them like bent backwards, they both had the bent backwards and kind of threw them back. And the tag team champions obviously won. I don't think the tag titles were on the line. They definitely didn't announce that, so you'd still think they would win either way. We then had the main event of the evening. We had the triple threats for the qualification for the Money in the Bank. We had Finn Balor, Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. Finn Balor won after an interference from Jinder Mahal tripping up Roman Reigns as he was about to spear Finn, I think it was. He ran from the crowd. Jinder tripped, dragged Roman's foot from under him. Roman got up, haluva kick from Sami. As Sami turned round, Finn kicked him into the corner, did his coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. Finn is going to go to Money in the Bank, and he joins Braun Strowman in that men's briefcase match. Who else would be there on the Raw brand? I kind of think they're not going to stick Roman in it. Don't think they're going to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if Jinder's in it. If you got Finn and Braun, that's 2 faces. So you got Jinder. And I said Rude, didn't I? So I'll go for Rude. And then you can have a mainly heel SmackDown sides, I guess. Yeah. I'm going to predict the men's. I think it's going to be Finn, Braun, obviously. It's then going to be Jinder, Bobby Roode, Miz, Joe, possibly. They might stick Shelton Benjamin in it. That would be a shout. They might stick Shelton Benjamin in it. Not because he's obviously not going to win, but you know what Shelton Benjamin is like in a ladder match. He could probably still do that. And Shelton and I don't know, have Jeff put Jeff in there or something, because him and Shelton will just, they're made for ladder matches, aren't they? But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. It was an alright show. Backlash is still in the memory, so to speak. I'm just glad that they're moving on from Backlash and going straight into Money in the Bank and building storylines, building up to Money in the Bank, and we can actually have a good build to a pay-per-view instead of having 3 pay-per-views in a month. But yeah, that was Raw. It was alright. Just to recap, we had Ember Moon qualifying for Money in the Bank, and we also had Braun Strowman and Finn Balor qualifying for the men's Money in the Bank. So yeah, if you like this, please like the episode. I say episode, I guess it is the Raw episode, the Raw review episode. Please like it. If you're new, please subscribe. I do this for Raw, SmackDown, sometimes NXT, depends if I can catch it, and every pay-per-view that we see. We also do a podcast which usually comes out every Saturday, depending on the time, whenever Chris gets time to edit it. He's got a busy life, so whenever he has a chance to sit down and edit it, we've got a podcast that comes out on iTunes. All the links will be in the description. And any other admin? Don't think so. Links would be down below. If you want to ask us any questions for the podcast, leave them in the comments section or tweet us on Twitter at BadBookersWP. And yeah, I think that's all the admin done. So I shall love you and leave you, and shall see you again tomorrow for Tuesday night SmackDown. I'll see you tomorrow for SmackDown Live.